1 minute. A team that is now postseason bound after a historic night on Wednesday. The Reno 1868 Football Club now has their sights set on a first-place finish in the Western Conference and within their grasp as they return tonight to Greater Nevada Fields. Alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies. Welcome to our broadcast tonight of United Soccer League action here on My21 TV. It'll be Reno and Portland. We'll have our star players in starting lineups in just a moment, but first we'll take a quick break as we get set for tonight's national anthem. Back with more in a minute. Back inside Greater Nevada Field, which has been a major home field advantage for this team this year. 8-1-4 in their 13 matches as they get set to face the Timbers for the second time this year in their home building. Colin, let's dive right into this one. Let's look at our key players of the match. We'll start with the Timbers. They've had a lot of changes throughout the year, but one mainstay at the top, one of their forwards, Augustine Williams, has been a strong player, leads the team in minutes this year.
Yeah, he's a player who has some pace behind him. Expect him to try and get behind that Reno backline and cause some problems for them. Very fast player and has a strike on him too.
Timbers don't score a lot of goals, but Williams has 2 of them. We'll keep an eye on him at the top tonight. And for Reno 1868, the Wednesday night victory, as I mentioned, historic. They set a new record for goals in a season, and it was thanks to that man, Lindo Mafeka, a hat trick in Reno's 3-0 win against Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Lindo Mafeka was fantastic on Wednesday night with just a great hat trick and great all-around play. He hasn't been scoring as much as he would have liked, so that would have been a nice relief off his shoulders there, and he'll be looking to add even more tonight.
Let's take a look at the starting 11s. First for Portland, they come in 2 wins, 18 losses, and 6 draws on the year. Portland will have a straight 4-4-2. Mentioned Williams at the top. He'll be joined by Gio Calixtro. He is a 17-year-old, scored a goal in the first matchup between these two teams. Kendall Mcintosh returns to goal for the first time since mid-August. And on the other side for Reno 1868, they will get their leading scorer, Dane Kelly, back. He was red carded 2 matches ago. The USL's leading scorer has 16 on the season. Also a change in goal for Reno. Russ Claybo will get his first start in USL action as Matt Bersano has been called up to join the San Jose Earthquakes.
I think it's good to see Russ Claybo out here tonight. He's a big, strong goalkeeper, really good in the air, huge frame on him, so expect him to try and get a clean sheet tonight. Also here we have Kip Colby at left back, who we haven't seen since the Tulsa game on May 24th.
Coaches in this one tonight for the Timbers, Shannon Murray will take over. The assistant coach replaces Andrew Greger, who was kicked out of the last game for Portland. So Murray will run the show for Portland, and Ian Russell for Reno 1868. We are underway tonight here at Greater Nevada Field. It is a bit of a brisk night, but compared to Wednesday, much nicer after the sheets of rain and cold in that one. Our officials, led by Benjamin Oakley, he will be assisted by Stephen McConigal and Julian Arias. Rafaela Gaeta is on the sideline. Reno, stretch of 3 straight matches here in their home building after playing 4 away from home. Send it down the field, trying to find Mafeka over the top. Here's Richards playing up from his right back spot. Has the ball stolen away. Mafeka fought for it, but the Timbers will push it the other way. There's Calixtro.
Already you can see our Portland are pushing with a higher line than I would have expected. I would expect them to defend deep with 2 banks of 4, but they're seeming to press Reno center backs and have a higher line than usual.
Punted back towards midfield by McIntosh. You mentioned the changeup, Kip Colby coming back for Reno, taking over for Brent Griffiths, who left towards the end of the match last week. So a little bit of a shake-up on the back line, but Colby no stranger to this team. He spent the beginning of the year in an 1868 uniform before heading off in the summer to play for his national team in New Zealand. Actually, a couple players on the pitch tonight who have suited up for the New Zealand All Whites. Joining him is Timbers center back Bill Tualama.
Yeah, Tualama's done well since he's come into this T2 squad with 2 goals already as a center back.
Mafeka making a run to the box. He's taken down. They will not blow the whistle. Dangerous play there for the Timbers. Able to temporarily clear it away. Knocked away out of bounds that time by Reno. Throw-in upcoming here, Kyle Bjornathan. 22-year-old from the state of Washington, headed back by LaGrassa, then stolen away by Lindo Mafeka. What a great game for Lindo Mafeka on Wednesday. He would score in the 18th minute to get Reno on the scoreboard, and then 2 goals in the second half. And just a fine performance for the South African. Here's Dane Kelly, fights his way into the box, pushed over, tries to sell a foul there, won't get a call as Portland clears it, but right to Kip Colby.
Yeah, it was good strength there from Batista against the Jamaican Dane Kelly, but poor pass. They're going to want to look to find the feet of Augustin Williams on the counterattack for him to lay it off to a runner.
Glad to have you aboard for this Reno 1868 match. Team is postseason bound here in their inaugural season after their victory Wednesday over Oklahoma City. An impressive first season here in downtown Reno, and then we talked about as well in the open, it is not out of the realm of possibility for Reno to finish in first place in the Western Conference. They'll have to take care of business down the stretch, but it is certainly possible with a match next weekend looming against the Real Monarchs.
Yeah, with one eye already on the playoffs, it's important for these next couple games for Reno not to have any complacency, because as we've talked about in prior games, getting home games for the playoffs will be huge for this Reno team. A Reno team that hasn't lost at home since the very first game of the season.
Reno's been fine on the road this year. They picked up 7 wins, but they have been dominant here in their home building.
It's so hard to play here. The crowd behind Reno's back, with the altitude, the way they press and attack together, teams really struggle out here at Greater Nevada Field. So I think that would be a huge advantage in playoffs if they were to finish in the top 4.
Throwing again from Bjornathan. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Into the box there, cleared away by Colby. Not out of trouble yet, though. Right foot knocked away. Another chance for Portland.
Yeah, it looks like Reno's midfield's a little bit disconnected on the second balls. Jimmy Ockford and Jordan Morell are doing their best to try and get it out of there, but then it's falling right to the feet of Portland midfielders like Omar Mohamed.
Morell able to clear it out of a dangerous spot, but that will give the Timbers an early corner kick. Deflected first by Ockford, and then there's Morell, who over the last few games has played in an outside back spot. He'll shift to center back tonight without Griffiths. Into the box again, this time cleared away by Weehan. Kept alive by Hansen. He'll bring it back forward for Portland. Opening minutes here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields. Reno and Portland playing for the 3rd time this year. Calixtro sends it forward. Richards meets on the defense and clears it away after stealing it from Omar Mohamed.
T2 are playing with a good rhythm so far. They're getting a lot of numbers forward. They're moving the ball around really well, and they're looking very dangerous so far.
They don't have a ton of points to show for over the last few matches with 3 consecutive draws, but they've drawn against some really good teams in the Western Conference in their last 3. They've done it against the first place team. Talked about the Monarchs. They've also drawn against Tulsa, as well as one more draw. So they've been playing well as of late.
Yeah, and I think not only are they defending better, they're moving the ball around better, they're creating better chances, but just they're struggling to get goals still. Someone on this team needs to step up and be a goal threat, I think.
Continue to keep it in Reno's half until it's stolen away momentarily by LaGrasse, but back towards Portland, and a strong foot there goes over the head of Claybo. Here's Russell Claybo, the 26-year-old from Sierra Vista, Arizona. He was signed by this club during open tryouts before the inaugural season. And the big 6'6" keeper will get a chance to start his first USL match. He has played in a Reno uniform. He did so during one of the Open Cup matches up in Seattle. He also played in Reno's game against Atlas out of Mexico a few months ago, back in July.
That's right, and he's someone who's been so consistent in training. He's, like I said before, he has a big frame. He's so strong in the air. He can get to everything. He's a very athletic keeper and a huge boot on him. He could probably get it from one box to the other, realistically. So it's good for him to reward him with some playing time out here tonight.
Here's a throw in for Reno. Colby, see him there in those highlighter yellow cleats. He's bowled over. And again, it'll be Reno possession. Lindo Mafeka's got it, gets it to Matt LaGrasse, who will send it down the field for Richards, playing forward from his right back spot. Gets it into the box, trying to find Luis Felipe, and it's cleared by the Portland defense.
Yeah, that was a great ball from Matt LaGrossa to switch the field to Brent Richards. I think what Portland are trying to do is they're trying to press together and keep them on one side of the ball, on one side of the field, because they know once Reno starts to switch the play, they're dangerous. So they're trying to prevent the switch, keep them on one side of the field, and then counter down that and overload that one side when they do win it.
Through to Mafeka. Colby centers it. Headed in. Goal! Welcome back, Dane Kelly. His 17th of the year in Reno. The early 1-0 lead.
You could feel that Dane Kelly was itching to get back into some goal-scoring form after having to sit out Wednesday. And what a header to the far post from him. A great clip ball in from Kip Colby. And Dane Kelly just redirects it towards that far post.
And some great ball movement there by Reno that time. Some really, really good passing. You saw it from LaGrossa, from Mafeka, and then Colby, a perfect ball into the box, giving Kelly the opportunity to finish, and he obviously did.
Absolutely. They connected so well together with the one-touch, two-touch passing in between the midfielders, and were able to slide Kip Colby through for the cross.
Timbers trying to equalize here. Oxford will get it away. That will move Dane Kelly into first place all by himself in the United Soccer League. He came in tied with Enzo Martinez of Charlotte. Both had 16 goals. And I know the Golden Boot would mean a heck of a lot to Dane Kelly at this point in his career. He's the all-time leading scorer in the league, but he has never won the Golden Boot.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, with being the all-time USL goal scorer, his highest season before this was only 12 goals, which means he's always been consistently good, but this season he's turned that on to a whole nother level. 17 goals this season, a lot of them really fantastic goals too. He has really proven to be, I think, the best striker in USL.
Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC. That's channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM FC will air the USL game. Colby centers it. Headed in. Goal! Putting some pressure on Portland. Now Mafeka as well, being pesky. He'll force a turnover. Felipe has it, sends it into the box. Openo centers it. Kelly saves. Mafeka still in play, and now kicked out of bounds. An interesting little sequence there for Reno, but a great save by Kendall Mcintosh as he prevented an early 2-0 lead for 1868.
Yeah, and it all came from poor passing from the back from Batista. He tried to dink it past the Reno press, but just gave it right to Luis Felipe, who initiated that counterattack.
Great job starting, though, by those forwards, Openo and the midfielder Mafeka, putting the pressure and putting that press and forcing Portland into a mistake. Into the box and headed again! Kelly finds the back of the net. From the corner, Chris Wehan, Dane Kelly has 18 now. And just like that, it is 2-0.
What a fantastic ball from Chris Wehan for his 11th assist of the season. He makes it easy for Dane Kelly just to run up and head it into completely unmarked on the top of the 6. Dane Kelly won't have much easier goals than that.
Well, I tell you what, that has got to be frustrating for Kendall Mcintosh. He makes a great save to prevent the 2-0 lead, and Reno will get it anyways, as they have come out red hot in this one. Colin, you talked about you don't want to come into this game overlooking Portland. They're a team that has already fought to a draw in this building this year, and that had all the recipe for maybe a letdown tonight for Reno and overlooking this team, but they have come out and they're playing some great soccer.
Yeah, this Reno team came out with guns a-blazing, and I think Portland they went into this a little too open. I thought that they would go in with a low block, 2 banks of 4, and try to prevent that space in behind, but they've given the game to Reno for a chance to transition.
So following the hat trick from Mfeka on Wednesday, Dane Kelly will have a chance at a hat trick here tonight. 2 early goals separated by only minutes here in the first half. Felipe trying to steal it away, couldn't quite get it from Bjornathan. He'll send it backwards for Batista. Dane Kelly has had some wild stretches this year. He had a period earlier in the season where he scored in 5 consecutive matches, and during that period he had back-to-back hat tricks. He did it against Phoenix, and then he did it as well against Seattle. So tonight, if he can complete the hat trick, it would be his 3rd of the year.
That's just unbelievable. But yeah, that month or so, he seemed to be unstoppable. Everything he touched just turned into gold. And it's looking like he's coming out tonight with the same kind of goal-scoring form.
Reno now 65 goals on the year. That is the all-time record for a single season in league history. Pressure there from Richards as he knocks over Bjornathan, and it'll trickle out of bounds.
It was a good overlapping run from Bjornathan, and he earned a corner out of it. But Brent Richards did really well to close down the cross.
Bjornathan has been the kind of engine for this Timbers team. He leads the team with 54 chances. From the corner, popped up by Richards. Williams nowhere to go. It just ricochets it off of Colby. Moxley said actually hit him last, so it'll be a Reno ball now and a throw in from that right corner. Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Felipe to Richards. Now Chris Weehan, something brewing again. Cleared away this time though. Good ball in by Weehan as he was trying to find a streaking Antoine Openo. Good job there by Batista to get it out of trouble.
Yeah, clever play from Weehan to try and find that early ball onto the onrushing Openo, but Batista deals with it well.
Richards with the throw-in, gets it into Kelly. Looking to center it out. Finds Colby. Reno trying to get into better position now. They'll go all the way back to their center backs with Ockford and then Morrell. Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Whistle blown there as Mfeka is taken down to the grass. Max Ornstill, the violator there. Look at the replay, just came up from behind him, got his foot in front of him and shoved him down to the grass.
Yeah, it's a foul, nothing more. I don't think there's much of a need for it with Mfeka going backwards.
Here's Kelly again. Couldn't quite get a clear strike on the ball that time, and picked up by Mcintosh, who throws it back into play.
That was a great early run there from Dane Kelly. They're having trouble tracking his movement. He loves those runs into the channel, I think, between the center back and the fullback. He finds that space into the corner.
Morrell will kick that one out of play as he was being pressured by Russell Cicerone. And a throw-in coming up now for Harold Hansen. Didn't see Hansen or Williams the last time these two met a few months back in July. They had both been called up by the first team in Portland to play while they were shorthanded. So making their debuts at Greater Nevada Field. And it was impressive. Portland, so shorthanded, was able to withstand a barrage of shots. Reno had like 31 shots in that game and only came away with 1 goal in the second half from Seth Kasipley. They took a 1-0 lead into the final 10 minutes until a shocking goal by the 17-year-old Gio Calixtro would equalize in the 84th minute, and Portland would escape with a point in what was a very disappointing night for Reno 1868.
Yeah, I think that night was just a case of nobody could find the net. All those 31 shots, most of them were just wide of the post. Even Seth Kasipli's goal was actually an own goal. It was a shot going wide that took a deflection. So it just wasn't Reno's night, but Portland fought well for that draw. They fought well, and you know, I think they're a better team than their record gives them credit for. I think they connect well. They have some threatening players. I just think they lack a real goal-scoring threat, especially now that William Bijet's gone.
Ockford gets his head in front of that one to knock it out of trouble. Portland has had some decent movement in Reno's half, but haven't had to pressure Claybo very much. Here's a look at Kip Colvey, the San Jose Earthquakes player, is down here filling in with Reno. He had sustained a knee injury after playing in some World Cup qualifiers for New Zealand. He's been just sitting on the bench in San Jose, and with the injury to Brenton Griffiths, it was the perfect time to bring him down and get him some playing time here in the United Soccer League.
We just missed a poor giveaway from Matt Lagrosse, which is really uncharacteristic of him. He turned blindly without checking his shoulder first and turned right into the onrushing, I believe it was it Omar Mohamed? But yeah, so he makes up for it with the block though.
20 minutes into this one, Reno a 2-0 lead thanks to a pair of goals, a couple of headed goals by Dane Kelly. Kip Colvey and Chris Wheaton credited with the assists on those two. Tapped away by Morel. Here's LaGraca, and back to Colvey.
Oh, well done from under pressure from Kip Colvey, but sideline's just a little too narrow for him there.
Broadcast tonight brought to you by Coors Light. The bigger the mountain, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Shot there goes wide of goal, and Claybo will pick it up.
Yeah, it looked threatening there from Russell Cicerone, but he couldn't find the target there with that shot.
Played in the PDL last year with the Sockers FC after a college career at Cal State Stanislaus, which is in Turlock, California, just south of Modesto in the Central Valley.
Actually, where Russ Claybo played college as well.
Sure did. Here is Mafeka. LaGraca. Colby once again coming up from his left back spot. Across the field to Richards. Seems like Kip Colvey playing forward, I think it really kind of suits his game. The system that they are running here in Reno, and Ian Russell, and the fact that he loves to send those outside backs forward, and it seems like it fits right into his skill set.
Yeah, he's a very attacking fullback. He actually, in the Confederations Cup, he was playing as a winger for New Zealand. He's very good at getting up the line. He's the rare breed of fullbacks who play on their weak side and can still carry the ball forward, which I think is an important thing. He's normally a right back, but he's so good with his left foot. A lot of right backs, when they move to the left side, they always want to pass it backwards. They always want to take a touch in and pass it backwards or to the middle. But Kip Colvey's really comfortable carrying the ball forward, and we saw that great cross for Dane Kelly's header with his left foot there. So it's nice to be able to play a fullback on either side.
And I think to that point, not only Colby, but for Richards as well. I mean, he also fits in perfectly in a system where you're going to send an outside back forward, being a former striker himself in college at the University of Washington.
Definitely. Brent Richards is another player who's really strong in attack. He's had a couple goals, couple assists. He's someone who's just really dangerous on the wing, can whip in a good cross, and actually has a great header from set pieces as well.
Hansen able to get to the box. He's tripped up by LaGraca. And there is a whistle. Are they going to give a free kick here? Doesn't look like it.
Looks like they gave the yellow to Harold Hansen for simulation there. It looks like Matt LaGrassa didn't touch him at all, and he just went down. So booked him for diving there.
Oh, good call there by Ben Oakley to sniff that one out, as Hansen tried to sell that and instead gets a yellow card for himself. Claybo will drive his right foot into this one. Kelly was trying to hold up play there, but fell backwards. And it'll go all the way to the keeper, Kendall Mcintosh. McIntosh's first appearance since back on August the 13th in Sacramento. Tonight his 17th start for Portland. He's allowed now 34 goals on the year.
Earlier we talked about Reno's inability to finish chances when T2 were last here, but we also have to give credit to Kendall Mcintosh in that game. I thought he was superb.
He made some great saves in that match. He made a great save earlier in this one, right before Reno was able to get their second goal anyways, off of a subsequent corner kick. Into the box again, Ockford has to work here. Gets his body in front of Cicerone. Mohamed will send it backwards. Into the box, collision here. Felipe able to get it out of the box and gets a deflection off of a Portland player, and the throw in now coming from Richards.
Felipe does well there to regain his composure after fluffing the first clearance. But I noticed something about Omar Mohamed's movement. He's listed as a left winger, but he was giving license to roam. A couple times now he's popped over the right side to try and overload one side before trying to get across into Augustin Williams. So he's allowed to go side to side and see where the space is.
USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with the latest league news and information by visiting www.uslsoccer.com. Also, follow them on Twitter @USL. Alongside Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies here tonight in downtown Reno. 1868 on top, 2-0, following back-to-back goals from Dane Kelly earlier in this half.
Oh, and that was a great ball that on-rushing Bjornathan on the blind side of Luis Felipe. Played it one side of him while Bjornathan made the opposite side run. Great ball in, but Bjornathan's cross isn't able to find anybody.
Here's a throw in from Mohamed. Here's Granito. Couldn't hold the ball up. Instead, it gets taken away by LaGrassa. Reno trying to put together a quick counter, and Batista able to knock it out. Opano now trying to spring Mafeka, and once again knocked out of play, this time by Chuy Loma. Whistle for contact there that time. And it looks like it'll be Portland ball here as we move into the 28th minute tonight. Reno will not play in the midweek. They'll have a chance to rest in preparation for the Real Monarchs coming in a week from tonight. Another 7 o'clock kickoff here in downtown Reno. That one knocked well out of play. Back into the Battle-Born Brigade, who's got a very big section here tonight. Nice Saturday night crowd here for this one. Just 2 more home games left after tonight. The game against the Monarchs, and then finish out the season on October the 14th when Sacramento comes to town.
Yeah, and that game against Monarchs next week. Monarchs have to go out to a tough away trip to Sacramento that Wednesday, just a few days before. And if Sacramento get a decent result and Reno hold through with this win, Reno could potentially see themselves passing into first next weekend.
Pretty incredible that that is even a conversation for this team at this point. After the first 5 matches, this club was 0, 3, and 2. Kelly steals it away. Chance for the hat trick. Won't get it. Deflected by Openo, and that one cleared away.
Well done from Mcintosh there. He stayed big. He knew that Dane Kelly would try to lob it with how far out he was, and he handled it really, really well.
Colby will slide and knock it out of play, and a corner kick now coming for the Timbers.
But another poor giveaway from Batista there to send Dane Kelly through, just one-on-one with Mcintosh.
Not a bad try there from Kelly. Almost got it past him, but like you said, Mcintosh has shown the ability to come up with some impressive saves in the 2 times we've seen him. Another good one there. Mohamed with his left foot and headed away by Colby. And now another corner from the opposite side of the field. Take a look at our Harris replay. Good job by Colby breaking in front of Calixtro, forcing another corner kick. That one goes too far, and Weehan will send it down to midfield. Nobody home. Hansen will get it and send it backwards to Bjornathan. Timbers trying to regroup here. Granito. Now Mohamed working against Richards. Mohamed, not a bad try there, trying to get Williams over his head though. Hansen will come up and get it away from Weehan, but it'll be Colby sending it down the other side of the field.
Portland have had a good spell of possession lately. I think they're trying to be patient. They know that there's a lot of the game left to play. They're still going to try and play this attacking style that they've been playing, but they're not going to force things. They're going to find passes, connect well, and then look for an opening before striking.
Mohamed again this time turns around and sends it back to Bjornathan. Match night brought to you by Coors Light. What would we be without our mountains? Without the things that push us further and call us higher. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Colby gets it up to LaGrassa. Good pass there for Openo. Gives a chance to Kelly again. Kelly in front of the net, gets held up. Sends it back. Left foot here and in. Lindo Mafeka on a fantastic setup from Kelly. But that doesn't look good as Dane Kelly is grimacing in pain and holding the back of his left leg, or right leg rather. Let's see what happened here to Kelly. Couldn't quite see it, but that was a phenomenal backwards pass from Dane Kelly.
Yeah, and that is how you counterattack. It all started from Kip Colby. Instead of clearing his lines, he showed some patience and then found Matt LaGrassa with some space. And LaGrassa sent it to Weehan, and Weehan had an excellent dummy for Openo into space, and Openo sent Dane Kelly through, all in a 4 or 5 seconds. That was an excellent counterattack there. But this doesn't look good for Dane Kelly there. He might have just overextended himself on the back heel. I didn't see contact, so I'm not sure what else. Yeah, it looks like he's holding his hamstring. It might have been an overextension.
Not what you want to see from the leading scorer in the league right now, as Kelly is in an obvious and visible pain. And imagine that could send him to the bench for the rest of the night, with Reno now leading 3-0.
Yeah, If he does get subbed out, he'll be disappointed not to get his hat trick. He's had a phenomenal game so far, 2 goals and an assist. And another goal for Lindo Mafeka. He shoots, he scores. 4 shots in the last 2 games and 4 goals.
Well, and that's the kind of production that the San Jose Earthquakes and Reno 1868 is expecting from Mafeka. I think there was a bit of a disappointment with him over the last couple months. He came on very strong, and then he kind of just fizzled for a while there. I mean, he was playing fine, but he wasn't the dominant presence like we saw when he first got here. And Ian Russell said that he challenged Mafeka before the game on Wednesday, and obviously he's responded very, very well.
Yeah, he's responded very well. I think he got a little bit of complacency. He's been playing well, like you say, enough to stay in a starting spot, but people should be expecting Lindo Mafeka to be the best player on the field, because he is. He really is. He's such a good player on the ball, such a great number 10. Transitions really well and can score goals, as we've seen, and now he's starting to show it again.
Brian Brown came on as a substitution, and our substitutions is always presented by the Les Schwab Tire Center. Here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields, Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of this beautiful facility. Felipe getting tangled up with a couple defenders, able to get the ball out of there. Now Brent Richards will send it to the other side of the field. Colby gets to Weehan. Right back to Kip Colby. He centers it, trying to find Brian Brown. Felipe will put his left foot into it, and too strong as that one will end up in the grass behind the bullpen area here at the yard. Yeah,
another great cross on Kip Colby's weaker side, and it falls to Luis Felipe, and I think he's got a little eager, didn't set himself quite right. Batista was rushing down on him, so just sends that over. But it's the right decision from Luis Felipe there.
"66 goals now on the season for Reno. The second most goals in the league is Louisville. They've got 52. Reno has just been something else offensively. And who knows, by the time this season is over, they could break an MLS record for goals scored. They could become the team in North America maybe with the most goals scored in a season. I mean, it has been that kind of year for this team.
This has been such an incredible attack, especially here at Greater Nevada Field. They just score, score, score. And away from home as well. 4 goals at Swope Park, 4 goals at Phoenix. These are teams that are pushing for playoffs right now.
6 goals here at home against Seattle. I mean, 9 goals in that wild 9-0 win over the LA Galaxy. I mean, there have been just some crazy offensive output nights for this team led by Ian Russell. The system certainly sets itself up for this kind of production, and the players have done a marvelous job executing when they've gotten opportunities and using the system to their advantage.
Yeah, the system, it's definitely rewarded them with a lot of goals, a lot of opportunities. A system like that is normally really high risk, high reward, but this Reno defense has been equally as good, equally as up to the task as the offense has been.
Whistle there. Actually, they won't call a whistle. A clean slide there from Colby. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune in to USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM-FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget, Sirius XM-FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times.
We saw in the corner of the screen a moment ago, Dane Kelly crutching off back into the locker room. That's not a good sign for the Jamaican.
Felipe tries for it. It was deflected off of one of the Portland players. A good job there by Mcintosh to save it from going past the back line and preventing what would have been a corner kick. Well, you certainly never want to see an injury, especially to a star player. And if you want to find some kind of silver lining, you hope if there is an injury that the amount of time Reno has between now and postseason, and certainly don't want to think about him not being available next weekend. But for this Reno team, I mean, you want to be fully strengthened come playoff time, which is set right now for October 21st. If Reno should get a home playoff game, it would be October 21st. So time for him to heal, but we'll wait and find out what happened to him. But certainly keeping our thoughts with Dane Kelly, who had a amazing first half, 2 goals and an assist. And as impressive as the goals were, that assist was just special.
Yeah, that was a special assist. He recognized that he saw Lindo Mafeka's run behind. He recognized that he wasn't even able to get to it.
LaGrassa almost got it past for Brian Brown.
And yeah, it was just a great back heel into the path of Lindo Mafeka. But yeah, Dane Kelly is the type of competitor, he wants to score goals, and he won't be happy with going down an injury, especially as red hot as he's been this first half. He could have easily grabbed a hat trick. He might have been able to even grab more. So he won't be happy with this. But like you said, playoffs are a few weeks away. Reno have already clinched. I think this will give him a little bit of rest, and hopefully he will be good in time for playoffs.
Well, you hope he's good for next weekend, is the
Definitely.
first thought you have when
Definitely.
you're playing maybe for first place, depending on how the rest of this one shakes out. And as well, the Monarchs will play in Sacramento Wednesday, which will go a long way. I mean, the situation basically sets up if Reno wins tonight and the Monarchs either draw or lose in Sacramento, Reno will play for a chance at first place next weekend.
Yeah, which would be huge for them, because that means they host every single playoff game.
And at this point, I mean, that would be huge for this team, because they have been remarkable here in their home building. They have not lost since the first match back on March 25th. They have had some draws, and I think really some disappointing draws here at home, but still 8 wins, 1 loss, and 4 draws in 13 matches here at Greater Nevada Fields, which has been a tough place for the opposition.
Yeah, and the Rail Monarchs haven't been here yet, so I'm interested to see how they play against a team that has beaten Reno twice, but they've never played here in Reno, so that will be a very interesting game come next week, especially with the stakes, what they are.
Good job by Ockford getting his body in front of that one, left it open though, and a miss there past Claybo. Will send his team forward. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, you can visit nikesoccer.com. Contact there from LaGrassa, and he'll get a whistle after knocking down Granito. Saw a stat about LaGrassa that really stood out to me before the game today. He is second in the United Soccer League in passes, and it just goes to show you how active he is in the midfield. 1,443 passes coming into the game tonight. Yeah,
everything goes through him, both defensively and offensively. He stays in that hole between the defense and midfield, and if nothing's on, he's always the safe pass to go, and he will always play the right pass. You just know you can pass it to Matt LaGrassa, and he'll find the right option. And he's also so active defensively, makes so many tackles and interceptions. He's just everywhere, both on the ball and off the ball.
Contact in the box there between Colby and Williams. Williams pleading for a call with Ben Oakley, but he's not going to get it. And Claybo will take his time. Pretty amazing for a guy that didn't even start the year in the 11 for Ian Russell. And now he has cemented himself as that holding midfielder.
Yeah, he cements himself as one of the best holding midfielders in the entire USL, I think. He really has been outstanding, and he really makes Reno play the way they play. They're winning the ball really high up the field where they're best at. When they win the ball high up the field and transition quickly, he makes tackles. He protects that back four with the way that Reno sends all three of their midfielders to support the strikers. He has a lot of ground to cover, but he covers it so well. He's everywhere making tackles, but then he's also never in the wrong position either. And for a lone holding mid, with the amount of ground he has to cover, he does a magnificent job at that.
I think the system doesn't work for Ian Russell here in Reno without the play of Matt LaGrassa.
I completely agree. I really do completely agree. If they have someone who can't anticipate those interceptions, then they're getting countered a lot more. But he keeps the ball in the opposition half. He does it really, really well. Oh, but that's great hold-up play there from Augusta Williams to find Omar Mohamed.
Broken up by Morel. Now to Jimmy Ockford, who wears the captain's band. 24-year-old has anchored this Reno back four.
He's someone else who's really good at defending on the front foot. He anticipates those balls when they come into the strikers. He's always there to step on. He's not the kind of defender who retreats into their own box and looks to make a block.
Just 1 minute of stoppage time here added at the end of the first half as Reno closes out this first with a 3-0 advantage. Here's LaGrassa, sends it forward for Openo. Good ball there. Antoine will stop in. Let some guys catch up, tees it up. Richards deflected, and it stopped right on top of the line. Goodness gracious.
What a great reaction save there from Kendall Mcintosh. He's going the other way. He doesn't know that Luis Felipe is there on that far post. Luis Felipe gets a good touch on it, but Mcintosh adjusts his feet so quickly. He gets low so quickly. That was an outstanding save from the goalkeeper there.
Reno has put away 3 in this first half, and they've had a couple more that could have gone in as well. Mcintosh has done his best effort to prevent this from being maybe a 5 or a 6-0 score at halftime.
Yeah, he's made a few really big saves so far. The one-on-one against Dane Kelly. The shot in the beginning of the game that went out for a corner that Dane scored the second goal on, and then that save from Luis Felipe there. He's had a great game despite the 3-0 scoreline.
So there's the halftime whistle, and Reno 1868 steamrolling once again. They're on top of Portland 3-0. A couple of goals for Dane Kelly and one more for that man, Lindo Mafeka. At halftime, Julian Delgadio with a feature on Reno midfielder Chris Weehan, who is a candidate for Rookie of the Year. He has been a superb talent. We'll hear from him, and then we'll come back and give you some highlights of first half action. Here in downtown Reno, 1868 leads Portland 3-0.
Welcome back. I'm News 4's Julian Delgadio, and I want to talk to you guys about rookie Chris Weehan. He would land on this club after going undrafted out of New Mexico, and he would not only become one of the best players on Reno 1868, but one of the best in the entire United Soccer League.
Your technique's proper. And you got Dane Kelly on the wrong side, got to wait for the rebound, and Rickles in.
There's no I in team. There's also no I in Weehan.
A lot of our chances come off of our pressure. And without that, if one of the guys wasn't working, we wouldn't find those chances that we're finding. So everyone's working for each other, and we're having a good time.
All too often, you'll find the 23-year-old crediting his teammates for his success.
The chemistry is great, on and off the field. Everyone gets along. There's not a guy that doesn't like another guy in the locker room. So it's a great chemistry. We all do stuff together off the field, whether it's meals or going up to Tahoe or whatnot. So we're having a good time.
Things weren't always this way. After a disappointing draft following his senior season at New Mexico, Chris would get a phone call from Reno head coach Ian Russell.
Ian's been incredible. He was the first person to call me after the draft, and he was understanding about not getting drafted. I think he went through the same thing coming out of college himself. And so I kind of had that connection with him. He knows what it's like and what it's like to start in the USL and hopefully work your way up. So he's been a big help to me.
After a few phone calls, Russell had a sales pitch.
I'm giving you an opportunity. Come up here and work hard for me, and hopefully doors open up, and that's kind of the advice he's presented to me.
Weehan would land in the biggest little city and have one of the strongest starts to a rookie season in the entire United Soccer League.
Dangerous spot. Weehan has his first goal here at Greater Nevada Field.
Not only is the midfielder leading the USL in assists, he's also been one of the top in the league for chances created.
It's a lot of fun. We're creating chances. We're working together. I think that's the biggest thing.
Now more than halfway through his rookie season, Weehan has been named the USL Midseason Rookie of the Year.
It was a special honor. It was humbling. I think I said it myself. All the guys were giving me a hard time, but I think it's more of a team award. I have a lot of good teammates around me, good guys on and off the field, and so I owe a lot of credit to them.
That's it. Openo, Weehan, 8-0 Reno.
Really dangerous all season long. I think it took him a while to kind of get going, but he's one of the top young players in the league right now.
For News 4 Sports, I'm Julian Delgadio.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home, sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
The road to the 2017 USL Cup playoffs continues to evolve. In Week 24, Real Monarchs SLC became the first team to clinch a spot in the postseason. But Week 26 saw two more clubs claim their position, with San Antonio FC doing so in midweek and Louisville City FC earning the first Eastern Conference postseason spot over the weekend. Maintaining their position as a top team in the Western Conference, Real Monarchs SLC were able to seal their position in the postseason in Week 24 despite falling to San Antonio FC. The Monarchs still clinched due to a loss by Oklahoma City Energy FC earlier in the night. San Antonio FC punched its ticket to the playoffs last Wednesday night on the road at Orange County SC. Ben Noonan tallied the lone goal of the game, which earned San Antonio FC its first trip to the postseason in club history. A hard-fought draw in front of a home crowd of more than 8,300 fans at Slugger Field put Louisville City FC in a position to clinch a spot in the USL Cup playoffs if other results went their way on the weekend. With Orlando City B falling to St. Louis FC on Saturday night, Lou City was officially in the playoffs for the third season in a row, and the first Eastern Conference side to do so. With plenty of teams still vying for a spot in the postseason, the playoff race continues to be one to watch. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Well, it is a brisk night here in downtown Reno, but a scorching hot performance from Reno 1868 as they hold a 3-0 lead on the Portland Timbers 2. 1868 going for their 16th win of the season. They come in 15-6-7 with 52 points, and as we talked about in that first half, an opportunity still for this team to rise up and potentially win this Western Conference. And if they continue to play offensively like this, they're going to have a good shot at that. Let's look at the first half highlights, Colin. Reno able to score 2 early goals as Dane Kelly, the all-time leading scorer in the circuit, finds the back of the net twice with his head.
Yeah, and there were 2 great headers from Dane Kelly. The first one, he's on the back foot. It's tough to redirect that, but he does really well to get that to the far post from a good cross from Kip Colby.
Colby playing in Reno for the first time since May 24th, and a great cross there to set up Kelly. Then a few minutes later for Reno 1868, a save by the keeper, Kendall Mcintosh, would force a corner kick for Reno, and again, it was Kelly who would find the back of the net. Chris Weehan, this time the assist. That was number 11 on the season, which leads the United Soccer League.
Yeah, and it was just too easy for Dane Kelly there. Just a straight run up. No one's marking him, and that's the top scorer in USL, and he has a free header on the top of the 6 there.
Kelly with 2 more tonight now has 18 on the season. That puts him in first place, passing Enzo Martinez of Charlotte. Then Kelly was able to set up Lindo Mafeka. He passed it backwards with his foot. Mafeka buries it for his 4th goal of the week, but Kelly came up limping afterwards. Not sure what exactly happened there. You just see him kind of jogging away and then grasping at his left, it looks like his left hamstring. He would exit the game and leave to the locker room on crutches.
Yeah, that was a great back heel from Dane Kelly, which I think he just overextended a little bit there. And Lindo Mafeka with just a pinpoint ball into the corner. He just passes it in there. Perfect accuracy between the defenders and McIntosh.
You mentioned for Mafeka, now his last 4 consecutive shots have found the back of the net. 3 shots, 3 goals last week, and the goal here tonight. Reno, more chances against Kendall Mcintosh, but he would come away with some good saves to keep it a 3-0 score. So Reno now, who set the record on Wednesday for most goals scored in a season, they now have 66 on the year. And I might have gotten a little ahead of myself when I was talking about records that would include the MLS, but I'd still say it's within the realm of possibility. The LA Galaxy in 1998 scored 85 goals. in that same season, DC United scored 74 goals. So obviously Reno's got some work to do. 19 goals, and they'll have to do it in about 4 games. However, if you include the postseason, which I imagine you would, if you include the playoffs, it is still within the realm of possibility that Reno could eventually pass and break not only the second-tier record in the United States for goals scored in a season, maybe, just maybe, they can go after that goal, that record set by the Galaxy. At the very least, they're putting themselves in the conversation as being one of the best offensive teams in United Soccer history.
Yeah, definitely. I think the LA Galaxy record from 1998 might be a little out of reach, but this team, with the way they score goals, you never know. You really do never know. And if you do include postseason and they do make a big playoff run, it definitely is not out of the realm of possibility there to break that record. And this team, they're just offensively, they're so strong. They just cannot stop scoring goals.
They scored 9 in a game earlier this year against the Los Dos LA Galaxy 2. Do we expect that to happen again? Not necessarily, but it is possible. So getting set for second half action here tonight in downtown. The Timbers are out and ready. If you're Shannon Murray, who is the assistant coach on the team, and he is essentially the acting head coach tonight with Andrew Greger being suspended for this game tonight, what do you do to try to rally the Timbers? Offensively, I mean, they actually did a pretty good job and gave themselves quite a few chances in front of the net. They just couldn't break through the Reno defense.
You know what? I think they just keep playing how they are. Maybe get a little tighter in the back. Maybe prevent the mistakes like leaving Dan Kelly unmarked or anything else like that. But they still knock the ball around. Still be a little expansive with your play. Try to keep things open, keep the ball moving, and try to get some chances. You know, they will probably write this game off. There's nothing. I mean, it'd be very difficult to come back from this. But they could play a good style of soccer, and after all, this T2 team, they're more development focused than anything. So the result's not so important as how they respond to going down this at halftime and how they play in this second half.
Players will swap fields. The Timbers in the white uniforms will occupy the left side, while Reno will switch to the opposite. And for 1868, Ian Russell will send out the same players that finished the half. Brian Brown, the only one that did not start after he took over for Dane Kelly when he went down with that apparent injury midway through the first half. So we are underway here in half number 2 as Reno looks to continue their climb in the Western Conference of the USL.
That's a great ball in from Jimmy Ockford to find Brian Brown's feet under pressure.
Brown, who started the game on Wednesday in replacement of Kelly, who was red carded in the team's previous match against Rio Grande Valley. Brown has been playing very well, had a good road trip, getting a chance to start and make a couple of substitute appearances as Williams with an early shot on goal and the save from Russell Clabo. Brown in that 4-game road trip, a goal in the draw at Seattle. He also had an assist in both the game in LA, which was a 2-1 winner for Reno, as well as a 3-1 win in Orange County.
And he was fantastic in the Orange County game. I actually went down there and got to enjoy the game as a fan, and he really did steal the show that night, I thought. He was everywhere. He was linking up really well with Antoine Opino and Chris Wehan, and I thought he should have had 2 assists, but I guess the one of Chris Wehan's goals was counted to be an own goal.
One advantage Reno does have, I mean, they've got a great starting 11, but this team is very deep. And you see that here tonight, losing Bretton Griffiths, who went out in the Wednesday game. Kip Colby comes on a replacement, and now Brown for Kelly as Brown tries to find the back lefts and couldn't quite connect there, as McIntosh will give his defense a chance to move forward.
Yeah, Brian Brown just tries to, he takes it inside well and just tries to curl into the far post, and McIntosh just doesn't get enough spin on it there, though.
Broadcast tonight brought to you by Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Fields. Morrell will head it. Weehan comes up with some pressure, gets the ball away. Reno pushing blue shirts forward. Here's Colby.
Oh, that's a great early ball there from Brent Richards, but him and Brian Brown just aren't on the same page. Brian Brown runs to the far post where Brent Richards tries to play him near.
Here comes Portland the other way. Williams battling against Ockford, and he will kick it away, but a whistle first against Portland, and that will give Reno the possession. So Reno here in the second half with Richards, Ockford, Morrell, and Colby on the back line. Felipe, Mafeka, LaGrassa, and Weehan in the middle, with Openo and Brown up top. Here's Brian Brown trying to make a play. It was deflected off of Lamar Batista and right into the hands of Kendall Mcintosh.
That was well handled by Batista. He sensed the run from Brian Brown and was able to find the header back to his goalkeeper for the safe option. Really, it could have been through clear on goal for Brian Brown there.
Here comes another surge from 1868. Antoine Openo, right foot, back in the net. Antoine Openo! And it's now 4-0 Reno.
And that's a clear showing of what Matt LaGrassa does for this team. He wins the ball, and then right away he sends Openo through. And Openo with the fantastic finish into the upper left side. Great goal there from the Frenchman.
Gets himself one-on-one with McIntosh, and he does not miss. Openo, 10 goals now on the year, and make it 67 for Reno 1868.
Still 40 minutes left to play out here tonight, too. We could potentially see 2 or 3 more.
Maybe that record not safe after all.
Maybe not. The sky is the limit for this Reno 1868 team.
Here comes another surge. Felipe, back to Lindo Mafeka. Over to Brian Brown.
Good patience there. They didn't force it. They didn't just try and play direct, and now they can push Portland back out and find that space in behind.
Well, one thing is for certain, nobody in the USL is catching up to Reno in goals. That's not happening by the time this season is over. So the record they have set this year is very much so safe. And it continues to amaze me how many games Reno has had like this. I mean, we talked about it in the first half. It started with that 4-0 win in Phoenix. It was actually their first win in franchise history. That was back in, I think, early May. And then we talked about it. The 6-0 game against Seattle. The 9-0 game against the Galaxy. And then again here tonight against this young Portland Timbers team where they have jumped down to a 4-0 lead. And this could have been maybe a 6 or 7-0 game right now had it not been for some great saves by Kendall Mcintosh.
Do you know what? If promotion and relegation was a thing in the United States, I think some MLS teams would be a little nervous about this Reno attack with how formidable they are going to goal.
Hard to tell what was going on there with Brian Brown. It looked like he was having some issues with cramping, is what it looked like he was saying. And so Reno will have to make another substitution. Brown is sitting on the bench, and it looks like Mac Pridham is getting ready to check in.
It's a cold night, and I don't think Brian Brown got a lot of warning time to warm up before coming on. So he might have come in tight and gotten cramps or a pulled muscle there.
Calixtro, the 17-year-old, knocked down from behind. LaGrassa, the aggressor there, then stolen away by Mafeka. Fans, you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget the USL Game of the Week airs on Sirius XM. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Another shot almost finds the back of the net. That time was Luis Felipe from just outside the box.
Yeah, and that was a Reno team down to 10 men temporarily before Mac Pridham came onto the field, and they still counterattacked really well right there.
So the substitution official now, that was presented by our Les Schwab Tire Center. For Pridham, he has scored 1 goal this year coming off the bench. He was actually Reno's starting forward along with Dane Kelly to start the season. Pridham got a little turned around there, and he will be offsides. He was trying to hold up, but just barely came across, said Rafael Agueda from the sideline.
I think this will be a good opportunity for Mac Pridham to get his confidence back up a little bit, get on the score sheet, maybe put a couple past Kendall Mcintosh here. He's a very strong finisher. He's so dangerous in front of goal, but he just hasn't been able to get those opportunities in his limited time since dropping to the bench. So here he has a good solid 35 plus minutes here. Maybe he can make something happen. That would do a lot of good for his confidence, especially with Dane Kelly and Brian Brown both falling due to injuries. This is his time to step up.
Pridham, a veteran of the United Soccer League. He played with Minnesota in 2014. He was a part of a Vancouver Whitecaps 2 program in 2015, and then last year playing for the Sac Republic. One of a couple players on the pitch tonight that came out of a Cal Poly soccer program, along with Kip Colby, as well as Matt LaGrassa.
And Junior Burgos on the bench as well came from Cal Poly.
Interesting, you see that with some of these clubs out there, well, you'll see kind of a trend of guys coming from the same school. And I think for both Reno and San Jose, the proximity to Cal Poly makes a lot of sense if they would recruit and know a lot of those players.
Yeah, there could be some connection there between the head coach at Cal Poly and the San Jose organization.
Portland will have the ball here as we cross about 10 minutes here into the second half. Good ball there. Ockford in position to get rid of it after it was centered by Cicerone.
And that was a good run into the channel from Russell Cicerone to try and get the ball across. He's been a little quiet lately, so I'd like to see Russell Cicerone try and make more of those runs, attack Kip Colby, who's been pushing forward a little bit, and try to make something happen on this side.
Here's Omar Mohamed, born in Mogadishu, Somalia, and grew up in Ohio. Played with FC Cincinnati last year before moving over here to Portland.
That was a good ball inside out to find Harold Hansen with space in the corner. Now he'll try and take Kip Colby on one-on-one.
Colby will knock it away, and that will set up a corner kick for the Timbers. Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Reno 3 goals in the first half, 2 by Kelly, 1 by Mafeka, and a second half goal by Opano. Lobbed in there, and Claybo will pick it up.
Yeah, that was really easily handled by Russ Claybo. That ball in the box, no one was even challenging near the goalkeeper at all.
Some other scores tonight across the United Soccer League. A final tonight, Rio Grande Valley tops San Antonio 1-0. A 2-0 lead for Oklahoma City tonight against Sacramento. That game in the 42nd minute. Also final, Swope Park topping Colorado Springs by a score of 3-1. Also, St. Louis and Cincinnati tied 2 apiece as they fight to a draw in the Eastern Conference.
Good play in the corner there from Portland. They're starting to connect again. They're starting to find some rhythm in the attacking third. And they'll be hoping that that rhythm leads to chances on goal.
Win by Swope Park keeps them in 4th place, but now just 1 point behind San Antonio. At a point earlier this year, it didn't look like anybody was going to catch first or second. Here's Mafeka again. Opino got it again. Antoine Opino with his left foot, and Reno continues the barrage. It is now 5-0.
And how did Lindo Mafeka get to the end of this? So quick to get to it before Tuiloma there crosses him up and then gets the back heel to Opino for a great 5th goal for Reno 1868 tonight.
Well, you can tell this is just aggravating now for Portland. They get good defense to stop Mafeka there. Really, that was a fantastic job to prevent him from getting a shot off. And then Opino is there to clean it up and make that 11 goals now for Antoine Opino this year.
Well, that's just a testament to how Reno attacks. No one ever goes at defenders 1v1 and doesn't have support. No matter what, even if Lindo Mafeka can't get past Tuiloma there, he has the opportunity to find Opino.
The route is on tonight here in Northern Nevada. Perhaps we will see another wild offensive night. I think I would categorize this already as wild offensively, but we have seen 9 goals scored this year. Mac Pridham will get a chance. Shoved down from behind and looking for a whistle there. He won't get it from Oakley. And I imagine had this been a closer match, he might get a whistle there because there's contact and then pushing him down. Not a bad try there defensively by the Timbers, but a lot of contact.
Yeah, a lot of contact. When you're 5-0 up, I don't think you're ever going to get that. But I think Reno have raised the standard for Wild Night, where 5 goals is just another day in the office.
Weehan tries to go back corner over the head of Pridham. Now LaGrasse lobs it back in, redirected and finished by Mac Pridham.
What a ball from Matt LaGrasse on his left foot, and Jimmy Ockford connects. Kendall Mcintosh makes another great reaction save, but Mac Pridham's there to poke home.
How about that ball in from Matt LaGrasse? And check it out, just a great ball. The redirect by Ockford was fantastic. The save, really, like, as you mentioned, Mcintosh did his best effort there. And then Pridham buries it home, his first goal at home this year. And what a great sight to see Mac Pridham rewarded here at Greater Nevada Fields.
Yeah, I think T2 were really caught ball watching there. Left 2 open markers on the far post. Poor defending, if you ask me, after clearing the ball from the corner.
You still think that MLS record is safe? I don't know.
I might have spoken too soon there.
They got a long ways to go. 85 goals. Reno now with 69 goals on the season. We need 16 for the all-time United States record for goals scored in a season. Wow.
Wow is right. Looks like they're coming in a little bit more, though. Antoine Opino, the striker, coming out, and Seth Kasipley, the midfielder, coming in here.
So Kasipley will check in. Our substitution brought to you by our Les Schwab Tire Center.
So all 3 substitutions now made for Reno with a half hour to go.
And Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. It's been amazing to watch this Reno offense come, and they just come in waves. Every time they've gotten to the midfield, they've got 3 or 4 guys surging together. I mean, the cohesiveness of this offense right now is such a spectacle to watch.
They all attack as a unit. They all attack together, give each other options, and then when they lose the ball, they all defend high up the field together to keep the pressure on when they do win it back. And a lot of goals they score for after winning the ball high up the field together when their attack presses as a unit.
Soccer fans, Nike, an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Michael Amick, excuse me, will check in for the Timbers. He will replace Bjornathan. Amick drafted this year out of UCLA by Portland's, one of their young players. Former teammate of Jackson Ewell, who started the year in Reno. Here's Kasipli with a chance. They want a handball there as it went off of the arm of Hansen. Won't get the whistle. Portland doing their best to try and just keep the ball out of the feet of Reno, and they're having a real hard time.
Yeah, when this Reno team presses together, it's so hard to get the ball out of that area into an attacking position. There's so many numbers around them. They don't have options, and Reno are just putting so much pressure on the guy with the ball, forces them drop their head, and they don't see any options after that. So they just hoof it and hope for the best.
Here comes a wave from the Timbers. Colby breaks it up.
Another great tackle from Kip Colby tonight, who's been excellent one-on-one defending.
Coors Light reminds you that every climb deserves a refreshing finish, and every night deserves a safe emptying. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Greater beer, great responsibility. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies here tonight at Greater Nevada Fields, where you would think this would be some type of season best setting performance by an offense, but as you said, it's kind of become commonplace now for this team. This is the 3rd time at home this year they have scored at least 6 goals in a match.
Yeah, the fans have gotten their money's worth this season. So many goals out here at Greater Nevada Field.
If you're watching on TV and you haven't been out here yet, get your tickets and come watch this team. It is an offensive spectacle. Corner kick cleared away by Reno. And I don't want to take anything away from Reno's defense because they've been really good too. I mean, we're talking about a team, if they can complete it tonight, that would have their 11th clean sheet as well. It was in jeopardy there. Claybo able to dive on it in front of Portland's and saves that clean sheet.
Yeah, Claybo will take his time getting up a little bit, push his lines up. But yeah, this, as good as Reno's offense is, their defense is just as good, especially with the numbers Reno throw forward. It's hard to defend in the situations they do. It's not a team that sits back with a lot of numbers behind the ball. They have to defend high up. They have to defend on the front foot. And if you don't get that wrong, players through on goals. So the fact that they make so little mistakes is so impressive, I think.
You know what a mark of a good team, and this club certainly is they just have good players at every spot. I mean, defensively they're strong, in the midfield they're strong, and they're strong up top. I mean, there's no weakness on this Reno team where you could say, okay, we're going to try and pick here as to exploit a weakness. It just isn't there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even on the bench, you bring in a player like Seth Kasipli, who's such a technically proficient midfielder, such a great passing range, and to have that kind of option off the bench really shows how good this Reno team is.
Felipe, who had a chance earlier in the half to put one away, had another chance there, but went wide of the net. So it'll stay 6-0 here as we move into minute number 68 of tonight's match. Here's Skip Colby again. Back to Chris Weehan. Felipe. Kasipley trying to find Brown, has the ball intercepted. Looking to go over the top that time, and too strong. They're looking to find Cicerone, but Claybo will pick it up and set it down for Colby. Colby not only a chance to play for his home country, actually started for New Zealand during the summer Summer World Cup qualifiers. Another chance here for Reno. Richards gets into the box. Felipe. Left foot deflected back to Mohamed.
And that was really well done from Portland there to get it out of pressure. And now they have a 4v4 situation with Mohamed.
Here's Calixtro trying to get it in there for Cicerone.
And another great tackle from Matt LaGrassa, breaking up play yet again. He's so clutch in those situations. He's always there to make sure that the defense isn't put under any more pressure.
Just as Portland was getting some momentum there, he just comes from behind and just with a pickpocket. Linda Mafeka over to Weehan, touches it over to Kasipley. Keeps it from going past the back line.
And good patience shown from Reno here. They're moving the ball around, looking for those gaps. But then Luis Felipe gets a little impatient there, and now Portland can counter.
They've only got 2 moving down the field against 5 blue shirts. Colby will kick it out of play. Did it touch Portland at all? And doesn't look like it. It's going to be a corner kick now for the Timbers here in the 71st.
Yeah, and that was some good play from Cicerone there. Gives him the little shoulder drop and then pushes it down the line, but Kip Colby recovers really well to knock it out for a corner.
Mohamed. Cleared away by Reno. LaGrassa to the pressure. They'll send it out wide for Batista. Too strong, and that'll be a goal kick now for Claybo.
Yeah, it's a difficult skill. The ball's going away from goal, and he has to get his hips around it to try and put some power behind it. It's hard to get any accuracy with a shot like that.
USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the entire world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter @USL. Pridham trying to pressure that one. It'll go back to Mcintosh, who boots it all the way down the other side of the field. Good, strong kick there, gets it all the way to Williams. We'll send it back to midfield, waiting for some reinforcements. Mohamed. Tripped up from behind by Richards, and Brent didn't like that whistle.
Yeah, Richards isn't happy with the call, but I think you can argue that's the right one. Mohamed gets his body between the ball and Richards there, and Richards just takes him down with a kick in the back of the ankle. So now Reno want to organize, make sure nothing comes of this set piece here, and hold on to that clean sheet. This is a good opportunity for Portland. When a team's trying to create chance to open play, they want set pieces.
Granito, and headed into the back of the net. And there goes the clean sheet, Max Orenstill. Off of the set piece by Granito, and Portland is on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and that was a good ball in from Granito to find Orenstill on the far post, and Orenstill just puts that in past Russ Clabo there.
His second goal of the season, the 23-year-old from Oakland.
Orenstill does really well to lose his mark there.
So it's now 6-1 Reno, as the opportunity for clean sheet number 11 goes away. And it all started on the foul committed by Richards. He didn't think that he did it, but set up the set piece, and Portland, who has had a decent offensive attack tonight, they've given themselves quite a few chances. They finally are able to deliver.
I think they've moved the ball around really well, but I don't think they've had too many clear-cut chances, and I think that was a good opportunity to get a real clear-cut chance, because that's a good position to whip a ball into the far post with a free kick.
I feel like eventually that was going to come. 7 corner kicks for them tonight, on top of what that was. That set piece was not from the corner, but they've had their chances in those kind of set piece environments.
Yeah, I don't think the corners they've put in have been too great. They haven't looked too threatening, but a free kick like that, where you have a bit more of an angle to make it a little more of a nuisance for the goalkeeper. You know, the goalkeeper doesn't want to commit too much, because that could end up going just into the goal. So the angles like that, they're a lot more dangerous than a corner kick. So it was well struck there from Granito to find Orenstill in the back post.
Second assist for him, second goal for Orenstill. So something to salvage for Portland here tonight. It's been a long season for these guys. Just 2 wins now into what is their 27th match.
Yeah, it's been a tough season for a lot of these guys, I bet. I mean, they are there for development. They are there to push into the senior team, but no one likes losing. At the rate they're losing, it's got to be frustrating for some of these kids. I mean, these younger players who really are. They're a talented group, but they're missing some key areas, I think, to really compete at this level.
Mohamed into the box, popped up, and Clabo will go pick it up. Greater Nevada Credit Union, the official sponsor of Greater Nevada Field. It'll stay a soccer pitch from now until the end of this United Soccer League season, after serving as a 2-sport facility for both Reno 1868 and the Reno Aces, who are the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Christian Walker with his first home run of the year last night for the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was a great sight to see after he was the MVP of the Pacific Coast League. Another chance for Luis Felipe, and again, just comes up a little bit wide.
Oh, what a great cutback from Lindo Mafeka to find the on-rushing Luis Felipe.
Oh.
And he can't find the target today. He's getting so close. That's about 5 shots now that have gone just wide.
So Granito will exit for the Timbers, and Terrell Lowe will come on. Substitutions brought to you by our Les Schwab Tire Center. By the way, our goals tonight, there have been a lot of them, presented by Audi Reno Tahoe. Here's Mohamed. Calixtro. Back to Lowe, who just checked in. Mohamed again, deflected by Richards, and then cleared by Jimmy Ockford. Pridham will send it back to LaGraca. Gets it up to Seth Kisipley. lot of patience here from Reno as Morrell has it now. They've almost had a touch from every single player on the field in this possession. Colby being harassed from behind by Hansen, able to escape, tripped up, and a whistle as he was nicked up by Williams.
That was really well done from Kip Colby. Under a lot of pressure there from Harold Hansen. But he does well to bait him in a little more, get out of it, and then earn the foul.
Pridham going after the loose ball here, putting pressure towards the corner. And looks like a throw-in now coming for Reno. Good job there by Mack, pressuring the ball out of bounds. They'll give it to Richards now for the throw. Just simply battling in the corner, and then it was knocked out. And again, Richards will be the man to throw it in. It
was a good idea to switch the play there. They were a little stuck in that corner, so now they'll send Kip Colby on the other side, and now they can get their side-to-side passing to open up the little gaps in between for guys like Mac Pridham and Lindo Mafeka to run onto.
Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts, Mondays, 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Also, don't forget Sirius XM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. About 11 minutes left in regulation here tonight. Don't imagine there will be a ton of stoppage time added, maybe none at all, as Reno moves towards another blowout win here at Greater Nevada Field. A 9-goal week between their match against Oklahoma City on Wednesday and this one here tonight against the Timbers.
4 goals in 2 games for Lindo Mafeka.
And I think it's still 4 goals and 4 shots. Did he have one more tonight?
He had one that he kind of missed, and it looked almost like a pass to Luis Felipe in the first half. So I'll say he meant to pass it. It was off the excellent, then Luis Felipe took the shot, and it was the excellent reaction save from Kendall Mcintosh.
Here's Lindo Mafeka. Reno's got bodies here. Weehan. Kasipli gives Richards a chance to put it into the center, and diving to prevent a chance there for Pridham. McIntosh with the save.
And McIntosh quickly finds Cicerone. Try and get it up that wing, but he's a 2v1 against Matt LaGrosse and Kip Colby. 2 very good defenders. I think for these final minutes, I think Reno will just be happy knocking the ball around, not forcing things, not giving up another goal, just running down the clock with possession. And hoping no other injuries occur after the 2 to Brian Brown and Dane Kelly. Hoping those 2 aren't serious either.
Kelly went down in the first half after his assist on the Mafeka goal, holding on to his hamstring. And then Brown early in the second half looked like he had something tighten up on him as well. Colby was trying to find Weehan there, who was stolen away by the Timbers and then knocked out of play by Seth Kasipli.
Yes, it's been a long season so far, and a couple muscle injuries are becoming a little more likely to occur as bodies wear down.
Shaq Jimenez will check in for Agustin Williams. Jimenez, a 21-year-old from Costa Rica. Frustrating night for Williams, was not really involved much offensively.
No, he couldn't get much of the ball tonight. It was tough to get him involved with the play. Tough to try and spring him through on goal. Tough for this whole Portland attack. They've moved the ball around well, but other than the great set piece from Granito, they haven't really created many great opportunities.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com. Kip Colby on the throw in here. Across the field for Luis Felipe. Or excuse me, Richards. Now it's Felipe into the box. Stolen away. Pridham battling, gets it back. And stolen away once again by Portland. Here they come the other way. Orange still did a good job there to take it away. Here's Jimenez, who just checked in. Low to Mohamed, and he will blast that one off into the grass.
And Mohamed did well to find a window to shoot in, but just got completely under the ball there.
Up next for Reno, a showdown with the Real Monarchs SLC 1 week from tonight. Reno losing their first two against them, 5-3 in the opening weeks of the season, and then 2-1 a couple months ago. It'll be their first trip to Greater Nevada Field. Should be great atmosphere, as it's possible for first place to be on the line. Definitely looking forward to that one. LaGracia trying to find Colby, a little bit too strong for him though. Yeah. And Harold Hansen runs over for the throw-in.
Reno will be hoping for some help from their neighbors over in Sacramento to get a point or three against Real Monarchs, a team that's been red hot all year long, led by Chandler Hoffman.
Ockford gets his face in front of the ball to save that one from being squared up. Weehan and Colby combining to get it out of trouble. Felipe forward for Kasipli. Felipe centers it, trying to find Mafeka or Pridham. And Mcintosh will step up and pick it up. Jimenez down to Hansen. Reno, after the night tonight, will have 55 points. That'll put them just 2 behind the Monarchs, who have 57. They've been struggling a little bit as of late.
Yeah, Portland earned a draw against Monarchs last week. They haven't been able to quite get their early season form. They're still a great team, but in early season form was something else. They couldn't stop winning.
LaGracia down this time as a whistle blown on Low, and a yellow card will go for him. Take another look here. Looked like he just got punched.
Yeah, Low comes in really late. Matt LaGracia gets the ball out from under his feet, and Low just comes and barrels on him. Definitely a yellow card for me.
Monarchs last night fought to a 0-0 draw against Orange County. They lost to Phoenix before that, had the draw against Portland, and lost to San Antonio. So their last 4 matches, they have not come away with a whole lot, just 2 points in their last 4 matches. So could be a good time for Reno to get this team, and an opportunity for 1868 to assert themselves as the top team in this Western Conference.
Yeah, and if you're Mark Briggs, you'll be concerned with that because this is the wrong time to be losing form. You want to go into playoffs at the top of your game and not in a losing streak. So they'll want to turn that around real quickly before playoffs come, especially with first place in the West on the line.
It's amazing because of how long this season is. If you would have asked, I think, anyone in this circuit in the middle of the year if the Monarchs or San Antonio were not going to be 1-2, they would have laughed because they had such an incredible advantage on the rest of the Western Conference. It was the Monarchs and San Antonio and then everybody else. And all of a sudden, San Antonio has stumbled a little bit. The Monarchs are stumbling, and all of a sudden you have teams like Reno, you have teams like Swope Park. Even Phoenix has been climbing the table. Some teams that are going to threaten them here down the final stretch.
Yeah, a couple months ago, I thought first and second were untouchable. I thought Reno would be pushing for third, hopefully, for them. But now, with a chance to finish as leaders of the West, come playoffs would be huge for them.
You have a Phoenix team that hasn't lost since July 29th. They've been playing well as of late, too. They're certainly getting hot at the right time, and I don't think anyone wants to deal with their star player, Didier Drogba. Come postseason time, everyone knows at how much of a big game player that guy is.
Yeah, definitely. Didier Drogba, one of the best strikers of the 21st century, really. He was huge at Chelsea and for Ivory Coast, and he's still popping up with goals at 39 years old. What a talent to have in this league. But this is the right time to be picking up form. I think come playoffs, it's not the team that finished first all the time. It's the team that ended the best. It's the team that is doing well as regular season turns into postseason.
I think you could point. Right now it's Reno and it's Phoenix are the two hottest teams.
Definitely.
Go over the top for Colby, stays on sides. Met by Jimenez, though, who then just pushes him down from behind. That'll draw a whistle as we count down the final 30 seconds here of regulation.
There's no need for Jimenez to do that. He can keep pressuring Colby away from goal, force him to go backwards, which Reno inevitably do from the free kick anyway. But just a poor decision there.
So they will add 2 minutes of stoppage to this one. Reno with 3 goals in the first half and 3 here in the second half as well. Last goal came in the 73rd minute from Portland. That was Max Ornstill. Reno's last goal in the 61st from Mac Pridham. Gets his first goal of the season here at Greater Nevada Field, second of the year. Reno maybe a chance for one more. Kasipli's ball is deflected out of play. Throws it into Mafeka, stolen away from behind. Timbers want to hurry up. They'd like to try and add a goal themselves here before the end of stoppage.
Yeah, I think they're trying to save a little face at the end of this game. Going away with a 6-2 loss is certainly a lot better than a 6-0 loss. And they've had their moments. They're a team that moves the ball around really well, like we've said. They can possess it. They have the little combinations between players to find a through ball out wide. So it's not all bad for this Portland team, I think.
Reno happy now just to kind of move the ball around and wait for that final whistle. And there it is, once again, Reno victorious here in their home building. A 6-1 blowout of the Portland Timbers 2. 1868 continues to climb in the Western Conference. Give them now 55 points on the year. They have 16 wins, and now just 2 points back of first.
Wow, what a turnaround from the beginning of the season. Just like we keep saying, we just keep being amazed by this Reno team and how devastating they are in attack, how many goals they can put away. Really just another great performance from Reno 1868 tonight.
Celebration has begun tonight here at Greater Nevada Field. We'll come back and show you the highlights of how this one went down. Reno tops Portland 6-1. You've been watching United Soccer League action here on My21 TV. Battleborn Brigade having fun here tonight. Another dominant win for Reno 1868. A 6-1 finish on top of the Portland Timbers too. A little bit of revenge against Portland after they were able to sneak away with a draw back in July. But Reno would leave no doubt here in this contest, scoring 3 in the first half and 3 in the second half. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one. Reno picking up their 16th win of the season, and we'll pick it up here in the first half. Dane Kelly got it all started for Reno 1868. A headed goal for his 17th of the year. Kelly would add another minutes later after a great corner kick from Chris Weehan.
Yeah, 2 great headers from Dane Kelly here. The first one, he does really well to backtrack and get some power behind it despite going the other way. The second one, just a clear, easy one for him.
Then Kelly sets up the assist for Lindo Mafeka, who would get his 4th goal of the week. But Kelly would have to leave the contest with an apparent injury. But in the second half, Antoine Opino would get 2 goals of his own, and he was a great finisher tonight.
Yeah, this first one, great win for Matt LaGrassa to send Opino through, and Opino just buries it.
And Lindo Mafeka would set up Antoine Opino on his 2nd goal of the half. Here's Mafeka racing it down. Such a dominant week for Lindo Mafeka. He was challenged and played so well in this contest. Then later, it was LaGrassa finding Ockford. The initial attempt was denied by Kendall Mcintosh, and then Mac Pridham able to get his first goal in downtown Reno this year.
Yeah, and a great ball from Matt LaGrassa there to find Ockford, and then Mac Pridham's able to poke home.
Portland's got on the board late in this one in the 73rd minute, excuse me. Tomas Granito with the set piece and headed home by Max Ornstill, so they would get on the scoreboard, but still another dominating performance by Reno 1868. Lindo Mafeka, some autographs. That's going to be a valuable autograph right there if he continues to play the way that he is capable of. The hat trick on Wednesday, and he was all over the place here tonight. Once again, we'll be back here 1 week from this evening. A huge showdown coming up against the Real Monarchs SLC, the team that is currently in first place in the Western Conference. If the Monarchs lose or draw with Sacramento on Wednesday, they'll play that game in Sacramento. If that happens, a win by Reno would vault them into first place in the Western Conference. What an incredible situation that would be for this team heading into the final stretch of play here in their inaugural season. Broadcast time again, 7 o'clock for that match. It'll be Reno and the Monarchs, who will play at Greater Nevada Field for the first time. It'll be the second to last home game of the year here in downtown Reno. What a great night tonight. Want to thank our entire crew for all of their hard work, both on the fields and up in the production room. For my broadcast partner, Colin Tabor, I'm Alex Margulies saying so long from Greater Nevada Fields. Reno dominates once again. They top Portland 6-1. Have a great night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.